It is the podcast.
We're
a day late,
at
dollar short.
CookieCon. Just kidding.
We drove back. When was the last time we've been in a car that long together? 7 hours, 7 hours. 7.5.
Oh, Disney. No, we flew.
Flew.
I think the previous
Really?
CookieCon.
Oh, that was 12 and 12. That was a rough one. You don't know truly about somebody until you know how many times they want to stop to use the bathroom. And then you're like, oh, that's okay.
We've been roommates and roommates for 35 years now.
34. Okay, give me my year. Give me my half a year.
We're coming up on that time.
So great. Before we jump in, tell us more about CookieCon, your experience.
CookieCon, we actually didn't get to stay for the full-fledged time because work and family and kids.
Okay.
What in the world?
Okay, Feepster Weepster.
I'm gonna
Just
have
gets
to
a
take
hair
one
up his butt.
I'm gonna take him in his
No,
thing.
he's done.
I'm gonna take him in his thing. Like pick the whole
No,
thing.
I see that. Okay, before I want to talk about customer service. That's not even today's podcast. This is just what happened. I'm a pre-planner. I plan things a month out. That way, when the time comes, there is no second thought. So we wanted to do a rental car.
I took Heather to Disney World with me just for her pre-planning abilities.
It is where I find I thrive. I exist in this space.
Listen,
so when I rent the
everyone
car,
gets, I have to just go into detail how you are like this. Everyone gets a pre-destination email from Heather with checklists, things you might want to bring, things you shouldn't forget, dates and times, things you can send to your loved ones so they know the last point of contact.
calendar
with you.
invites with the attached registration numbers, reservation numbers, everything you need.
Yeah.
If I croaked on the way, you'd still have a great trip.
If you see Heather with a manila folder, you know you're getting ready to be on time.
If it's a
every
colored
time.
manila folder, I just want you to know
Yeah.
you've
She's
gotten
festive. She's festive this time.
This one's good. So, anyways, rent the car through Enterprise, just a rental. You just spilled everywhere, like as if you had a hole in your face.
I poured it before it got to my mouth.
Okay, it was a long drive. Anyways, I rent from Enterprise. Yeah, print out the reservation number. Yeah, print out a copy of my driver's license. Yeah, I print off the. You have to have your insurance card printed. No, I'm not getting it. I got you a fresh copy, stapled, ready to go.
One for you. You can keep these.
Yeah, got one for us to keep in the car. Show up to Enterprise, 15 minutes early. Don't want to be too early. Has to cause stress. But there's 6 men standing, one girl behind the desk, but the humidity and heat.
In this place is tiny.
Tiny.
It is
Tiny.
a hole in the wall.
So when I walk in, I say, Corey, hey, thanks for the drop off. I'll drive from here. Obviously, with the car we rented.
I'm out.
Yeah, day early. Everything is perfectly just fine-tuned, scheduled. But when I walk through the door, the lady behind the counter is arguing with somebody on the phone. And I said to Corey, hey, don't wait for me. It looks like there's a bit of a line here. And she looks up and she says, the man next to you has been here since 10 a.m. It's almost 12. She said, the entire Enterprise rental system is down. Do not go to another state. Do not go to another location. They are all down. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just, you know what? No sweat. I know you can't control the future. I'll just come back in a couple hours and see if it's back up. She's like, no, this place closes in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Who would let me have a reservation at 12 when you close at 12? Wild. Yeah, can't get mad at the small girl behind the desk. She obviously didn't take down the payment portal. But they were like, there was no rental places open for these people who clearly needed these vehicles.
Can I just give feedback? Like, she's not even here. She'll never hear this.
Yeah.
I want you behind the desk, your level of stress to match my level of stress. You can't do anything, and I know that.
The energy, the apologetic energy needs to match the inconvenience.
It needs to be like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Instead, it was like, yeah, we're only open for 15 more minutes.
If she had taken me and you against Enterprise, it would have been granted, still wouldn't have gotten a car.
Yeah, for sure.
But it would have been like, you know what, guys, I'm so sorry. This is so frustrating. But it was really
It's more like, this is
the 6 men,
frustrating
me.
for you. I'm getting ready to get off work.
Right. So definitely not ideal Enterprise.
So we didn't get a car. Did not work out.
So then you'd be like, well, then just call another rental company. Guess who else called other rental companies? Everybody who was renting through Enterprise called the other rental. They didn't even return my calls.
It's weird that a lot of these rental car companies are closed on Saturdays and Sundays. To me, the prime days of travel.
But she said the only one that's open is the 24/7 Enterprise at the Reagan National. So you have to go to an airport.
Yeah.
You have to go to an airport, finagle there, and still the payment portal was down.
It's fine to go to the airport. We're hop, skip, and a jump from 2, but they never called back.
No.
So again, drop with the Enterprise customer service.
Avis, I on you too. I called you guys. You said you're going to call me back in 5.
Hurts. You're hurting me. You did not call
It was
back.
wild. But yeah, big takeaway is you can't control the future, so plan for the unplannable. Okay? Take it away. But well, Corey and I, we went to CookieCon. We were only there for a day. We got there a day early. CookieCon technically starts today.
No, they started yesterday.
The orientations.
Yes.
And this was
some add-on classes.
Yeah, so the add-on classes, don't they technically start on Monday?
Wednesday. What is today?
The electives in. Whatever. There's two different sets of things.
Unsure, but things have been a brewing since we left.
You're just saying the opposite of what I said. So it seemed like a vibe. We went to the Kalahari up in Ohio.
Sandusky.
Sandusky. I gotta say, the rain was like, we'll be attending too.
Yes.
And the cold wind was like, you know what? I think I have some free time as well. I will join.
I was not ready for the coldness.
I think we left Virginia and it was 90 degrees. I was sweating when I left.
Yeah.
But now it's pretty cool here too.
True. We brought the weather back.
Yeah, you're
down
welcome,
with
Virginia.
us.
Enjoy the rain. Enjoy the rain on that car wash. You just did.
But I had never been to the Kalahari Resort. That was neat. If you have a family who loves getting wet, that place is for you. I don't love going into the pool. I'm not a pool person, but I think my son would have loved it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was pool centric. We were maybe 2 miles from a Great Wolf Lodge as well. So it must have been water park capital of the world.
So let me just give you a rundown if you're considering the Kalahari Resort. Tons of water slides coming out of the building.
Always a good sign for the water slide aficionados.
Seating within the pool area looked fairly good. Little place for you to actually, if you had little kids, they had a little kids area and they had a little swing there so you could swing them along and you'd not be worried that they're going to be pummeled by older kids.
They're completely rebuilding the outside water park. Obviously, way too cold to have it open anyways, but it is a complete gut.
It looks huge. Whatever they're doing.
When that opens, you would never see your kids
me,
all
it would
day.
be 2 parks in one at that point.
It would be so large. So between all the rooms, they were kind of in a almost complete square. Between them is this outdoor water park that has been gutted. Everything seems brand new.
They are working on it every hour of the morning.
They were like, it is 9 a.m. We are going to build this pool.
Let's make this chainsaw the loudest it can be.
Did it wake up Corey? No. Corey slept. Okay, granted, we did not live together.
Listen, have you raised a husband, a child, and their pets? It's exhausting.
Only adult male babies. But Corey slept for 12 hours.
I'm still so tired.
12 hours.
I'm having a sleep like that.
You may be thinking, well, it's because she drove up there. No. That was me. I drove.
Heather was like
hours.
my parent. She wouldn't let me touch the car keys. Like, I've never gotten a ticket.
You know when you go into my favorite gas station, not for anything other than its clean restroom sheets. Right. So there's a Sheets in Breezewood, and then obviously there's a billion more Sheets that we found on the way. But I was like, hey, I'm going to go be the adult here. I'm going to fill up the car. You go inside, use the restroom. Don't forget to wash your hands. And then when I walk in after filling up the car, Corey's like standing there. Honestly, looks like she's lost.
But I want to tell you, I didn't bring my cell phone in. So if my mom left with the car keys, I would be SOL.
So I said, hey, I'm going to go use the restroom. Mind getting us 2 Diet Cokes.
What does SOL stand for?
Bleep out of luck. Cursing.
I'm so sorry.
Guys, it's been a rough one. Corey just SOL, Archer. SOL. So I come in and Corey's just standing there. Honestly, looks like a lost child. And I was like, hey, go get us some road sodas. I'm gonna use the restroom, play by play. And then I'm like walking away from her, right? Like a normal human. She still looks up to the ceiling. Just listen. And I popped my head back out of the public restroom like a parent would. And I said, did you understand what I just said? Get Cokes?
Yeah, I thought you want me to wait for you.
No, don't need us.
I didn't know your ice to soda ratio.
Just kind of
It's not probably my same ice to soda ratio.
You go do that now, and I'm going to use the restroom, and we'll meet at the checkout line.
Guys,
okay, honey?
let me just tell you, the only person to make a spill on this trip was Heather at the final Auntie Anne's.
Where's my Auntie Anne's folks out? You find an Auntie Anne's on the PA Turnpike? I'll be right there behind you.
I know. Auntie Anne's just got some, they've got some good pretzels.
Salt, butter, bread.
It's a pretzel bites, and we got a little fork.
That was a good idea.
Yeah.
Do I wish I'd gotten the full pretz? Yeah.
No, they didn't have any.
No, they didn't. But I was just happy they were open. They've been closed since Karen.
But we will say, at the Kalahari, there are many places to eat.
I thought it was almost more places
There was
than
an
at
ice
the
cream
Orlando
place.
place. Got the ice cream.
Ice cream
Yum.
was great.
Yum. The Sorrentini's, an Italian place, amazing tomato caprese salad.
I will say
if you know,
skip
you know.
out on the cheesecake there. I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Corey likes her some extra cheesecake.
I like a little tasty
We didn't get to go to the
taste.
Belux, which I wanted to.
We did not, but someone did, and they said it was
So it was
amazing.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a couple, actually, there was a ton of food places. There was a ton of entertainment.
Unfortunately, we were supposed to meet at the Marrakesh market for
close.
our happy hour, but the Marrakesh market had been
It
marketed.
was like, we don't want your money.
Yeah, it
We're
says
going to close.
We're going to be closed here.
Fair. I think that the convention center wing is only open during conventions. And since
Is CookieCon not a convention?
it doesn't start until
Convention?
Wednesday,
Oh,
Tuesday.
You're right.
So we were there, obviously before. So very cool, very fun. But on the drive up and down, I wanted to talk to Corey about kind of something I think about all the time. Phoebe is just like, how can I make more noise?
It's so
now he's under there. You
distracting.
can't get to him.
It's so distracting.
Look at his little,
Okay, let him just live his little
old lady
life.
cat leg. Okay. Yeah. So when I think about cars, and I know a lot of people aren't very interested in cars, but when you think of the car lineups of the big companies, Toyota, Acura, Audi, whatever, you have this kind of setup. And there's a reason why you do, because it works so well. You have the flagship car. Now, this car is out of everyone's budget. It is high performance, expensive, and let's just pick Acura, right?
Okay.
The Acura NSX is a flagship. I think it's around 150,000 base, 150,000.
I don't see them
base.
hardly ever.
Yeah, because none of us could afford it.
But in this area, you do see some
Yeah, there are car
stunners.
shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, when you watch an Acura commercial, the NSX is in the commercial maybe for a half a second.
Like barely.
And then it pans over and you get the actual workhorse of the line, right? So the flagship car is essentially saying, here's what we're capable of. And this technology is incorporated in all of our vehicles, but this one is 150,000, right? So Acura isn't making the majority of its money on the flagship car. But what the flagship car does is say, hey, this racing pedigree is in the rest of our lineup. Now, what you also don't see in many Acura commercials is the base model either.
Which is right now the Integra.
The Integra is a base model?
It's the
cheapest?
The lowest and slowest. I don't know how to tell us about that.
Well, like what's in Toyota? The Corolla, the Camry, what's
Corolla, Toyota Corolla.
Love those little guys.
Yes.
So like, okay, when you watch the commercial, they're usually kind of coming into the mid-range. Those are where Toyota is likely making a majority of its money. But what Toyota offers is a budget-friendly option, because what you don't want is someone to say, hey, I want a Toyota. Do you have anything in my budget? No, I'm sorry. We start at $50,000.
Right, exactly.
So what all these auto manufacturers do is they have the flagship, something so expensive, many of us will never, ever even consider buying it. All it does is signal like, hey, these are our capabilities. This is what we can offer. And then you get the workhorse, like the mid-range, these mid-size
the
sedans.
Toyota Camry, that four-door sedan, it's taking your family to and fro, has great gas mileage.
And then you get the entry level of the entire lineup. So like in Audi, it would be the Audi A4. You don't necessarily see an entire commercial dedicated to the A4, but it's there when you go to the dealership. In fact, it's there probably 20 or 30 times. So bringing that to cookies. You have in your mind right now, you know that one set that has enough profit margin, but it is your workhorse set. It's your mid-range set. It's your sweet spot.
Unicorns
and mermaids, mermaid unicorns. And then you have that set or that thing that says, hey, this is what I am capable of. I can do this. It's going to blow your budget.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility and it's great marketing. So the same way the NSX is like, hey, 0 to 60 in 2.5. Like none of us are ever going to buy it, but it's there. And we know that Acura can build something like that. Likely it's taking the technology into its workhorses.
Yeah. I have some customers who will reach out and I'll be like, hey, do you mind sending me some inspo pictures so I can make sure that what you're looking for is in my design capability? And they'll be like, I've seen what you've posted online. You'll definitely be able to nail this. So their confidence is already with me from what they've seen. They don't know the price of it. They know it's got to be a tinge bit high, but it does help me secure more sales.
Definitely, because you'd want to know that even though I may be ordering mermaids from you, I want to know that you could do something crazy. Now, that's not going to be your profit margin. In those really high-end sets, the amount of time investment, the amount of marketing that would go into them, and the type of person who can spend that much money isn't very typical. But it's nice to have one of those sets, two of those sets, maybe even challenge yourself to two of those sets to be like, hey, this is my flex set. This is what I can do if that was ever requested. Now, most people probably won't come in at that set anyways. But they'll come in at, I want the mermaids with the numbers and the names. But what you also have is you have your economy set. That set where, hey, I can't afford the mermaids, but can you do this? Yes, I absolutely can, because a lot of the cost of marketing is in acquisition. So if we have somebody coming in and they're like, hey, this is a little out of my budget, and you're like, well, I know my worth. Like, no, we do, but let's have that economy set, that Toyota, if it's a Corolla or Camry, and say, hey, we can take some options off. That's exactly what auto manufacturers do. Like, we don't need the heated and cooled seats. We don't need whatever else they're adding, but we can fit your budget and get you out of the door today in a very new 2023 Cookie set.
Ooh, nice.
So what would you say? Let's compare it to what you have. What is that thread thing?
Thread.
The icing that looks like threads.
Icing that looks like
You said starts with an M. Fancy word.
Marzipan?
Nope. You had made the set that looks like a Indian dream weaver.
Oh, dream weaver. What is that? It's why it does start with an M.
Yep.
Hold on.
That's all I got.
Mary Cash Market. I gotta look it up real quick.
Okay, is that set more advanced than typically what you do?
Not advanced, time in though. Takes time.
Would that be considered your Acura NSX?
Yeah, because I don't like to do it. I would say anything with a ton of florals.
Okay.
A lot of specific tiny details. Anything that you're making 5 or 6 or 7 colors for, to give that. Icing colors, icing consistency, having to make it, you flood one color and then you also have to make it in a stiff consistency. That's a ton of time to me. So anything with a ton of colors, a ton of different consistencies, and you're right, that whatever that M word is, I'm looking up now.
What do you think of it?
I'm looking up shaggy art.
Okay.
Shaggy, what is that word? Shaggy thread art. I'm going to just write.
Thread art.
It is.
What's it called?
Do you see?
No, there's a lot of shaggy things.
Yeah.
Okay, people are screaming at the podcast right now, probably yelling.
Yeah, I would
word
scream as well. Why? It's just how to make a shaggy rug mat.
Okay, you're gonna have to let the word go.
Oh, it's gonna just drive me nuts. Okay, yeah, it didn't show up in that 2 seconds.
Miércoles. Okay, so here's the thing, because I know what you guys are thinking is you just told us not to market the things that we don't want to sell. And I agree, don't. But neither does Acura. They have the NSX. Typically, it's parked inside the showroom when you go buy your normal people car. And you're like, oh, it's there. It's in proximity. You can see it. You can, wow. But it's not the focus of their marketing. Watch any Acura commercial and you may see the NSX bleep in, bleep out. As well.
What I think is great is for folks who actually have the tiered pricing model, where you have your basic set, your intermediate set, and then your high-end set, to showcase, in your copy, to be like, this is my highest end set, just wanted to show you. So you're training your audience in a way hey, you want those details, you want 7 colors, you want that shaggy carpet thing on a cookie, you're going to pay the top dollar, but I can do it.
Right. But in your marketing, you're not going to focus on that top high end. You're not going to just pummel your audience with florals, 8 color, 8 icings, because what they're going to do is well, then this must
That's
be
what I'm going to order there.
Yeah. So what you'll do is you're had a lot of fun with this more complex set. Here's what this would be top of the line of what I offer, and kind of explain it to people in the same way that an auto manufacturer, this car that none of us will ever buy, is 0 to 60 in X seconds.
Right.
Okay, that's really awesome. I'll never buy it, but at least I know that you know how to do it. And you're probably incorporating that ability into the rest of your sets. So great. Just like an auto manufacturer, you go and you see the window sticker and then you see the add-on. So maybe someone's like, hey, I'm at a mid-range cookie car and I'd like to add some gold. I don't want to go up to the NSX range, but I do want to add a few features that's going to bump up the sticker, the window sticker, but they're going to get what they want. And then you have your economy line.
One thing I will say is a lot of people I don't feel comfortable telling what my clients paid. That's why when my clients have paid me for an order, I'm no longer thanking them in that set. That picture is my opportunity to get new clients. So I'm not going to say, thanks, Heather, for ordering. Also, she paid $150 for this order.
Fair.
No, I'm going to say, here's what a top tier looks like. I'm not even going to say Heather's name in there because you've gotten my thank you. I've written you a thank you card. You've gotten my thank you email and everything. So you've been taken care of. You have been thanked. If you comment, say, oh, I love the set. Thank you so much for making it. You know what you've commented on. But I'm not going to just waste my opportunity to market this high-end set and show off by saying, oh, thank you, Heather, so much for ordering it. I hope your kid has a fun 4th birthday.
Right. Like, I'm already a client. Like, you don't need to warm me up. You don't need to convert me.
But what you can do is use that opportunity to showcase your work, to set expectations for people who are ordering, and then show off what you can do at your top tier set.
Let me ask you this. As a consumer who doesn't bake cookies, I like the fact that I can go to a car lot and look at the window stickers without having to talk to anybody because I know what everything costs. So would you ever consider adding the price range of the sets you posted?
I think that would be nice. Just for people to understand, I always say starting at $70.
Oh, that's nice.
Just so you can know going into it where it lays. If we're so far off and you're like $70 is starting, okay, we might not be seeing eye to eye, but at least you have an idea that it's only going to go up from there. I like the window sticker
approach, like kind of like, hey, this set starts at this, just kind of letting people know. Yeah. Maybe not every post, but maybe a post maybe once a month. That kind of sets
awesome idea for your story highlights on Instagram to showcase like what the price ranges is, what goes into it. Because if someone says they want gold or a ton of lettering takes me forever. So I have to add a price onto that to, accompany how much extra time that takes me.
As a consumer, I hate having to be like, hey, how much is this thing? And they say a price that I was not ready for. And then I'm like, I don't want it anymore, but thank you. Yeah. Like that awkward thing.
This is kind of how I lead into that. I'm like, hey, I just wanted to let you know my prices start at $70, does it? And can go up depending on details, such as gold and metallics, adding a ton of lettering to it. Can you send me some inspo pictures? But now they have the expectation that like, oh, maybe I'll delete that one that has like 50 million words on it.
It would be nice because I really don't know what takes more time. Sometimes the things that I think look impressive, you're like, oh, that takes 2 seconds. And the things that I don't think look impressive, you're like 2 hours. So kind of having that. So, and think about it this way, my opinion. Okay. Sure. When you go to a dealership and you see the window sticker, you've anchored to that price. Yeah. Now you can incorporate discounts and, price manipulation to make either people feel like they got a deal or they got an extra, or like, hey, like that's $70. With that, it'll bump it up to here, but I'd be happy to throw that in something but if they don't know what the window sticker says, then all your price manipulation doesn't really make sense to anybody.
I know that some people are so scared of saying price first and foremost because you want to lead in with value. You want to prove. But the problem is if they're coming from another baker who maybe is priced half as much as you are, it's jarring for them.
It's a lot of value you'd have to add. You'd have to add 100% more value.
Or you add all this value, you spend all this time with this person, and then you're like, and the quote is blah. And they're like, wow, that is not what I was expecting. You're way above my budget.
There's definitely a sweet spot between like just shouting prices at people and hoping they convert and warming them up and hoping convert. There's that whole thing where you can kind of say like, you don't want the tire kicker. Because the tire kicker, back to the car lot, is just there to kick tires and not buying anything that day. But there's something to be said to warm people up. So when you look at bringing it back to the automotive, like Coons lady, like she has all the
Crystal Coons
with the blonde hair. She is constantly warming up people through their TV ads. They have an extensive ad network, but when you go there, then you see the window sticker, and then we can kind of deal with the tire kickers and stuff like that.
Again, to the whole. When I sold cars, what we did was actually line the perimeter of the entire parking lot, where the cars are.
Yeah.
Why did I say parking lot? What is that?
Lot. I think the parking lot was right.
With the cars that brought most of the money in for the... So we didn't put Mercedes around there.
So you put mid-range sedans?
Because it was such a commuting area, we put in the best gas mileage cars.
There you go. Smart.
Yeah, so you had to walk through that to find the BMW. And you're like, but what do you want to sell BMW? They're expensive. Yeah, but they take so much more time too. They're cost a lot because it takes a lot of time to make those cars. Whereas if we went with more fuel efficient, they're cheaper, but they're easy to produce. We have a ton of them on the lot. That's what we want to sell because we can move those faster.
would you have put mid-size fuel-efficient cars before small compact cars, thinking a lot of people have kids in this area?
Because it's such a commuter into work car, we only put just the tiny, like you don't care that there's no room for the kids in the back.
Interesting.
But
CarMax being used cars.
Yeah. So the thing is, when it comes to what you want, I know I love showing off my ego in a set that really like took some time for me, like really pushed me beyond my comfort zone. But that's not always the set that I want to sell because it takes so much time. You know, I'm not proficient at that. I can't just knock that set out in a couple hours and be
It's
done.
your NSX. You're not making a ton of them.
I know. So
you're showing them off, but you're not focusing on them.
it feels good to get the likes and, oh my goodness, that looks like artwork. But it's the unicorns that have a base white, color, and maybe like a little extra with the mane and stuff. That's really going to drive my sales. And that's what I kind of want to showcase. When you come to my page, I want you to see those sets that it's, a little bit more affordable for you. It's faster for me. And we really are meeting there in the center.
Yeah. And now you're also not leading with your economy base model set either.
Yes.
Because that isn't necessarily where, it doesn't sell itself because you're taking features away, but it's an option that people can have. And that's a little out of your budget. That's why I'm always saying, like, it's knowing your worth. Great. But you can still know your worth and take away the details of a set, and both of you still get what you need from each other.
Right. So what that would look like is sometimes someone wants to order 2 dozen and the second dozen really is putting them out. But a lot of times you could add those circles, just plain circles that have the colors that match the set. That's what you would say, like you're more, eco-friendly, more budget-friendly option. But I don't necessarily want everyone to order, a very fancy set, very fancy dozen, and then like circles as their second dozen. So I'll just keep that one mostly in my back pocket and be like, okay, I see price is a little bit of an issue here. What if we went to this option where you included these circles?
Wouldn't any car salesman do the same thing? Like, hey, here's the one I want to sell you. But when you see somebody backing away because price being an issue, you're like, hey, this is another option. The A-line.
This comes
Audi.
with your, like, you ask them, what do you need? So I love to say, is there a cookie that you really, really want in the set? And they're like, ring box cookie. Okay, we can do the ring box cookie. And then we'll do these simpler designs to really still fit in your budget, but you still get that one thing you need. So when we were selling cars, we'd be like, what are 3 features that you have to have in this new car?
What an interesting question.
Yeah, and when they would say something like, I need a sunroof was the most common one.
Really?
I'm like, mine's always closed.
Yeah.
But they would need a sunroof. So if that car that they loved was out of their budget, hey, but this Camry actually has the sunroof that you were looking for. And that, at the end of the day, was price and sunroof was something that you had to have. And this has it all. So let's take a test drive and see how it feels.
Yeah, you can kind of feel it. Now, granted, being on an auto lot, used car, you can read people's faces much easier than what we see through email or our DMs or, Facebook messages, right? But you can get a vibe where somebody's head's at by how quickly they respond, by the questions they reply with, or by the like, hey, let me go ask my husband.
You know what the number one thing that they trained us when we sold cars was to do?
What? Was
to run a credit app before you took them to the lot. It's hard to make someone unfall in love with a car that they cannot afford. So what you do is you run the credit app, you ask the budget questions, which are hard to do, and you say, let's see what you can afford, and then I'm going to show you cars on the lot that fit within your budget. Because if you fall in love with something that fits in your budget, you're most likely to drive away with that. Versus you falling in love with the Mercedes, but you can afford the Camry. And then I'll be like, yeah, we're going to have to, I know you love the Mercedes. I know you loved all these things. Yeah, but we have to go back to the Camry. Then they're sad. They feel like they've settled. So you honestly want to get those budget questions in there so you can know, are they going for my set that I make 24/7, that I can make in my sleep?
Here's an interesting thought. So again, I'm not one to say underprice or Eddie cookies, the machine's expensive. However, when you have somebody who can't afford the handpipe lettering, obviously pressing print is a ton easier than loading up a bag of icing, getting the projector out, hand piping on each one. So you could almost make that as an option, like because you can save time on that Eddie cookie, you could pass that savings. Now, again, I don't recommend personally underpricing your Eddie cookies, but it would be a nice supplement when you see somebody about to walk away.
Yeah.
Hey, here's another option. Because I know you were doing wedding cookies for a cousin. and you hand pipe the letters. But imagine if she was actually paying you, and then you were going to say, "Hey, this is may not be hand piped, but it will have the same effect, and it will be a great little door thing when they leave the wedding."
Yeah.
The wedding doors.
At the end of the day, you said you just wanted Mr. and Mrs. on there. It's got it on there.
So you can kind of think in terms of value, as in saving time will actually save you money, because time is money. So there's a couple ways to work the cookie car lot.
The cookie car lot.
And get people out the door with what they want, because there's a whole, know your value 100%. But just as when somebody's like, hey, it's out of my budget, what they're trying to say is like, hey, can you work with me?
Yeah.
To be like, I do not service people under that. Like, oh, you've already spent the money in acquisition here.
Yeah.
Can you get this? Is there just a small place where you both can stand and get what you want out of this?
What was funny is when I was interviewing for that car sales position, which is crazy that I had to like work for the job. The owner of the dealership called me in and he was like, I'm going to give you a scenario. A customer wants to buy the car. Their babysitter says, I can no longer watch the kids. You need to come back. And this is in the middle of your deal. What would you do? So I was like, oh, well, we do have the kids area. And then he was like, what I want you to say is we'll drive the car and the paperwork to your house. I said, but that's not in the rules. He said, listen, you can bend the rules a little bit to make a sale happen.
Oh.
So I think taking it case by case, can you move the Eddie price just down just a little bit to secure the sale in for the long run? You have them as a client.
Kind of like this. When I see people say like, no, that's like, if $10 makes this sale, to walk away with a sale of $60 instead of $70 is still worth more than the $10 you would have lost. And I know that's a dangerous, slippery slope where you eventually look around and you're like, I'm making no money. So it's only used when you see people about to walk off the lot.
Yeah.
And be like, will this last thing cinch this deal?
I know. There was your lady that's right down the road, Kingsport lady.
I have a lady.
It's like your neighbor in this area.
Okay.
That I drive the cookies to her. She has 3 little kids under the age of 7. So I will actually drive the cookies out to her. She knows to pick up on Tuesday when I come do the podcast that I can drive them out to you, which I don't do delivery. But she tips me an extra dozen that she doesn't order. So she tips me $70 to $80.
So you see, Corey's bent the rules on delivery in exchange for this huge tip, of which this lady obviously is paying back into that. Everybody wins. But Corey came off of her strict no delivery policy.
Yeah, for this lady to make that sale.
Right. So find your rules, find your policies, and don't be afraid as the boss, you are the boss of you, to kind of see if you can find a sweet spot that maybe is just a little left of center of your policies, but a little right of center of what will make this client walk through the door.
Back to your topic of like showing your workhorse cookies. Someone asked a great question in the cookie marketing group. I want to sell Eddie cookies. I have an Eddie now. I want to sell it. I really want to dive into corporate orders. How can I do that? And what I'm going to always say is you need to showcase those Eddie cookies. Anything you want to sell, that is what you're going to have to show. Not the things that took you 50 hours to pipe. You're going to save that content for later. You'll always have that content. But if you're looking to sell something specific, like I want to do birthday party cookies because they're a moneymaker for me. I can do them really fast. That's what you want to show. Forgo the ego. If you have another private account or an extra cookie account where you just follow cookie people, you post it there.
Somebody had asked an interesting question in the Cookie College. They said, hey, I'm seeing ads from other Cookie College members, but we're not in the same state. What gives? I allege that it's this. Boosted post, not through Ads Manager, to people who like your page and people similar to them. In which case, that parameter is other cookie people if your target audience is muddled. So when you think, okay, well, I spent a lot of time on this. I did this cookie set. I'll never want to sell it. Never want to do it again. I want everyone to know. Think of who the target audience, who wants to see that? Is it other cookie people? Can you set your ego aside and say, for the greater good of my ad spend budget, can I focus on my workhorse mid-range cookie that pays the bills?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Corey and I have a membership called Cookie Class Kits. So every month, it's a 6-set cookie class. We'll give you everything you need to promote it. Now, some people are like, hey, would you ever offer an advanced version of these? But look at we've been doing cookie classes for a couple of years now. What's fills butts in seats is the mid-range workhorse cookies, where no cookier out there would be real proud to post these, but people would be really proud to take the class.
Yeah.
Meet people like me who don't know what we're doing.
The people who are taking our class are new people who are trying to have fun. It's never someone who's like, if we made our classes for intermediate cookie people, we're going to have so many less people in the class.
Fewer because you can count them. Less when you can't count.
No, we have so many people I can't even count them.
So less. So when we go to design these class sets, which I say like I'm designing, I'm not doing anything, but when Corey goes to design them, we got to come in at the mid-range workhorse where there is technically not a lot of ego here.
You're going to call it elementary design.
Because that is exactly what it is. And every class we teach, someone stays after and says, hey, can you teach a private class to me and my friends? And our answer is, I can't, but I can refer you out to somebody who can. But you guys are like, but you just said grab the money when it's on the table. When it fits in your style. If we had taught a private class, which most people oddly ask one-on-one, which would be 2 twins to 1 person.
Yeah, that's great.
That's not the type of workhorse. That's not our mid-range. They're coming in at NSX pricing, and it's just not economical for us.
And what we know is if we offer this beginner class, we can maybe get 10 to 15 people, make a couple grand off of it, versus an intermediate class, maybe we could get 4 people in, that really want to learn a different technique.
But then, if we're doing 10 people at what, $75? If we only did 5 people, each one of those would have to pay around $150, $160
to make it worth it. But then they're like, I don't see that.
Now that's very expensive. Now we got a pricing issue. So you can kind of see why I always have an affinity towards a workhorse, and so does every auto manufacturer. Again, you can have Mercedes, who also has a flagship, the Mercedes AMG GT. Yeah. I think it's around 100 to 200,000. And then you have the C-Class, which is their entry-level Mercedes. Even Mercedes can have a higher-end product offering and still fall within this type of pricing structure. And because Mercedes doesn't want to lose you to Toyota, but they also want to graduate you to
to me, if you got a Mercedes
S-Class people.
The Mercedes at the base level,
and
you fell in love with that Mercedes, you're going to be a return Mercedes customer for the rest of your life.
Right. So sometimes, the way I see it, so you have the loss leader vehicle where maybe Toyota or maybe Hyundai's not making a ton off this, but it gets you into the brand. And if they have a strong enough brand loyalty, they can get you up to get one of their mid-range workhorse cars. Yeah. So same with your cookie people. If you're like, I wouldn't even be like as proud as this said, it's very basic, but this person's like, hey, but I want to work with you, and you know that you can get them graduated up. At the end of the day, this is my policy. Everyone has the money to buy everything.
Right.
Within reason, right? But like people are driving around in Ford F-150s that are like $100,000. Like the $10 extra of your cookies isn't actually breaking the bank, but what you have to prove to them is the value.
Yeah.
So if you can get them in at like a low buy-in, maybe even a DIY kit, and you can sell them on that customer service and that just, amazing experience, they'll graduate into these mid-range product offerings.
So I would say if you get on Instagram, and sometimes I am guilty of this too, I see some insane, mind-blowing, talented sets on there. And I'm like, oh, my little ruler with its smiley face doesn't look so cute now. I do not have that mindset when you're going. If you are in it for the business mindset, which if you're listening to this, you're in it for business because that's what we always preach. It doesn't matter what you're selling as long as people are buying. So if your rulers with smiley faces are selling and you are sold out on your smiley rulers,
rulers is it.
Yeah, that's it. Be proud of that. That is great.
Yeah, like there's some really, really cool cookies, like 3D buildings. And I'm like, oh, that's I can't even believe you did that. But I'm like, but how can you package that and send it off to school with a kid who's tripping all the time?
That's what my son said this morning. I said, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. And he's like, yeah, now I got to be the depressed deliverer. I said, this is your A, son.
What?
Depressed deliverer.
Oh, Archer knows this real so well. Did you do Teacher Appreciation?
I got to go home and do it.
What is it? Rulers with smileys?
Yeah. I was thinking of doing the coffee cups, and maybe a Starbucks gift card.
Cute.
Yeah.
We'll see. There are some cute Starbucks gift cards.
I know. So then I thought, put that at the top with a little cute green and brown bow.
But okay, let's say this. At the end of the day, if this is a side project for you and you're not here for money, you're just here to learn and talent and show off, then post your extravagant cookie.
Sure.
You have our permission. You're allowed to. That's what your goals are, and you're working towards your goals. A lot of people who listen to this are here to pay their mortgage, send their kids to school, buy a Camry, And we got to work off of that business centric thing, which is, higher profits, lower costs. And that comes through marketing. It comes through, pricing, and it comes through really just how you manage a business.
Yeah. So I think don't be hard on yourself if you're not making the latest and greatest technique cookie out there. Be proud in yourself that you know who your target audience is, that you're making content that they want, that you're not having to overinvest your time to make the sales, and be proud in that part.
If you see somebody that gets a lot of engagement on some really stunning techniques that would probably goodbye, Phoebe. You couldn't have made that any louder. You were like, what can I hit with my knee? Bye, Phoebe. Phoebe is going deaf. He's losing his hearing. So I'm shouting the cat's name, and it is not looking at me. I had to run out into the woods.
Go back to your thought because I don't think you remember it.
I do. So like when you see somebody on social media, another baker, and they have a ton of engagement and they have a really high end NSX quality set, and you're like, I'm just, I want you to click on the reactions and scroll and see how many bakers you see. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that their goal may not be to buy cars with this money. They may be trying to sell classes. They may be trying to sell you on that class, in which case they're right with their target.
Sponsors from other people, and it's really about how many views they get versus.
Yeah. So again, you got to knock up their engagement rate against your goals, and likely your goals are very different. Yeah. Some people just want to post to social media, and they don't need to make the money. This is truly a side hobby for them. Yeah, and they really like to be very good at things, and that's what they want. So their payment is that engagement rate, those high engagement, and then they're doing the things that manufacture that. If your goal is not that, if your goal is your bottom line, do not compare yourselves to that. Go ahead and like it, ooh and ah, but just don't. But click on that. And,
sometimes I click on the account and I look at the top. It says not currently accepting orders. I'm like, oh, you got more time on your hands,
right? And that's kind of what kind of brings you back to understanding that all of these automotive manufacturers have their workhorse line, and that's what's bringing in their profits. And then they have their loss leader that's very expensive, and then they have our economy line that just gets you into the brand.
Yeah. Yes. Preach.
It is all business. Was it everything's fair, love, and war in business? Maybe.
Is it? Is it fair in business?
I was thinking about like in terms of marketing and how effective marketing is. You can have a moderate product and better marketing and be far more successful than somebody with a better product and poor marketing. That's what they always say. Like, you may be the smartest person in the room, but if you don't know how to speak to anybody else, it doesn't matter. So again, and obviously we're a marketing and business focused podcast, so that's where we're going to shine some light. If you want to be the best in the business, go ahead, but this would probably not be the correct approach for that.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be spending 50 hours on one cookie there.
There you go. And that would get you in that line. So again, come up with your goal, your mission statement for your business, which will be wildly different than many people.
Yeah.
And then focus on that. And then keep that always in the back of your mind when you're comparing yourself. Again, blinders are great. Facebook has put in a lot of tools.
And Instagram, man.
Great. Well, because here's my thought. Facebook and Instagram really cashed in on FOMO, social media panic, right? And then they realized that their audience was getting fatigued by feeling bad about themselves all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit too late, I think. They put in all of these parameters where you can now remove
somebody, but you're still following them.
I can like a page, but unfollow it so I don't see its stuff. Like, wow, what a great tool. Now on a post by post basis, I can control with custom friends list who can see what.
It's so crazy.
I know. Very smart.
Yeah, it's good. So you can keep yourself focused versus it's easy to get down on yourself, especially if you're making my smiley rulers, But you can really help yourself by, blocking out the things that maybe aren't causing you joy right now so you can focus on things that are causing you joy.
I heard once that everything is for a season. Sometimes that season is long and sometimes that season is short. And it's not bad when the season ends. It was just the time at which it was over.
Yeah. I'm going to take my seasons coming short with you.
Oh, yeah. It was ending around the last sheet stop. CookieCon. So that kind of takes us through that. I know a little bit all over the place, but the concept being the same. Like, find your workhorse, lean into it, cultivate the audience that will pay you for the things that you actually want to make.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, show up in your $150,000 cookie set. show it off, say, hey, this technology is in that set. And then in your back pocket, have the economy line that that one, barely seats 4 people, but it gets you from point A to point B.
And honestly, in every baking vertical and cakes and drop cookies, there's that for everything. You have your 50-tier wedding cake with like hand spun sugar flowers, and then you have your naked cake, which to me, I have no idea about cakes, but in my cake thought that seems easier because you have less icing and you get to show off the naked side of the cake.
Imagine the person who's known for knocking naked cakes out of the park. They got, assuming that naked cakes are cheap, I do not know, but less icing, so definitely less ingredients cost,
and less like super detailed. It's a naked cake.
Oh, and you're known for something that's even more cost effective. I'll be like all day long, twice on Tuesday. Here's your 2-tiered naked cake.
Be so hard.
So that takes us through this. Corey, I want to talk about the sponsors, but here's my challenge. I thought of this in our 14 hours together.
Okay.
I want you to sell me on a sponsor, but you cannot use the product name or the noun. You have to describe to me the product.
What would be a noun for the photography? I just couldn't even.
You can't use photography.
Okay. Are you looking to up the way your cookies show up online?
Oh.
You wanting to stop that endless scroll and have people stop in their tracks?
How are you gonna
up your cookie game with can I say backdrop?
No.
With a tool that is going to help you make more cash.
Like it?
Do you like your cookies?
So rhetorical questions.
On a white-looking table? You can with Acura. White-looking table.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, Acura backwards is the one. It's a food-safe backdrop. I just got their matte white finish. My goodness. Now I just leave it upstairs because I just can grab it, but it's a smooth finish, so there's no texture on it.
Is this a new one, Matte White?
It's the newest one. One of the newest ones they have.
Because you're used to say polar white.
Polar white has some texture on it. It is a brighter white, though. And if you're taking a picture and you're not using like a macro lens, you won't be able to see the texture anyways. But if you're like, hey, I like to get up close to my details of my $150 million set, you could use that white matte finish, and it is textureless. It's very, very pretty. Okay. You can use the code SUGARCOOKIE, it's not plural, to save 20% at checkout.
Okay.
Okay, now your turn.
Do you want that puff? A soft bite with all the ingredients already included? In your royal icing, the missing component is the perfect powder of the variety of meringue.
You can't say variety. How else would you describe it? I'm saying that's why it's hard to say backdrop.
Royal icing only has 3 ingredients. Do you want the best of the best? Try
water.
Great water, delicious powdered sugar, and the final ingredient is bakety bake. It's royal batch. Right?
Yes. Meringue powder.
Okay, you can use code TWINS at checkout. Just 5 pound back in, 5 pounds back in.
I saw her comment on a thread in the baking group that said, if you order now, the 5 pound bag, it ships next week.
Hold on.
I ordered a bunch of 1 pounders because the 5 pound wasn't in stock, and she's redone the bags since I last ordered, and they're super branded and super cute.
Super cute, and they are in stock.
The 5 pound is
5 pound. 5 pound. Let's see 128 is the cost of the 5 pound bag. So that's 25. Oh, so in each bag you save
You're using code TWINS.
Almost $8, not even the code.
Oh, so use code TWINS.
And I have to add it to my cart.
Yeah, you can. I will show you the price.
Add to cart. So 128 code checkout. I'm on baketyBake.com. Okay, the discount code is TWINS, all caps. So it takes it from $128. I save an additional $12.80. So let's do that.
And the shipping's already in there.
Oh, really? Okay. So 128 minus. Okay. So 128. So if you bought it in 1 pound bags, it's $160. Okay.
If you bought 5 1 pound bags.
Right.
Okay.
If you bought a 5 pound bag, it's $128.
Wow.
Then if you use code TWINS, you save the $12. Is shipping included on just a 1 pound or 5 pound?
I don't know, but I think so, yes.
I believe that would be kind of hard not to. Let me go see. Why do we not? 1 pound, add to cart, remove. Okay, let's see if shipping is included in both. Calculate in the next step. Now, so I have to go to full checkout to see what the cost is. So
But the bags are super cute. They used to be bigger bags, like the typical meringue powder bags. Now she has branded bags. So it has the ingredients on there. It has the cute little recipe on there that I use. And the bags are a little bit smaller, so they're easy to store.
Nice. Okay, sell any without saying. How are you going to do that?
Do you want...
Why do they always start with rhetorical questions?
I'm really just minding my brain sometimes.
Do you like printing stuff?
Do you want to throw your stencils and airbrush out?
That's a good
Do
hook.
they cause you to cry?
Most people
Do you hate cleaning them?
do.
Then this product is for you. Get
Okay.
all the stencil colors, all the stencil designs in this one machine. It can pay for itself in as little as 3 months.
3 months? I've only seen. You'd have to really
In as
market
little
it.
as 6 months. It is a direct-to-food printing.
So Eddie is a direct-to-food printer. No discount code. Eddie knows his worth. But it is pretty fantastic how it works. Now, you got a tray, didn't you?
I did just get a tray.
Okay, by who?
I got to look it up. It was a random one.
I saw, the sassy tray lady is at CookieCon.
CookieCon.
But she's handing out a tray that says, I'm Eddie's sassy girlfriend.
Oh, that's hilarious. Is she
Sassy
at the
tray.
vendor hall?
I don't know. I just saw her post her trade.
I got this tray, and I've never heard about it, so I can't really honestly tell you if it's good or not. It's so loading so slowly here. Is there no Wi-Fi?
I feel like the internet is a little spotty today.
Okay, well, I'm not getting it, so
Okay.
you have to wait.
So when you purchase an Eddie, it comes with a manual feed where you could just put a cookie on the tongue, but it also comes with this turntable, in which case you can load them up with 12 cookies and just press a print button and step
it's a
away.
carousel.
Carousel. So some of the trays are made for the carousel and some are made for manual feed, depending on what you're trying to do with them.
This one that I got is from Believe Cakes.
Okay.
Never heard of it. And it's a Primera Eddie printer manual tray. And then I got transfer sheets with it because I thought that made sense.
Very nice. I think Cookies by Karen will be teaching a Facebook Eddie line.
By Karen.
Isn't that Cookies by Karen?
Is it
The TikTok?
Karen? Yeah, I would have to look her up.
Okay.
I always say Karen.
Right?
Me and her are first name basis now.
Oh, excuse me. I don't like all our cookies
Karen
by.
is going to do a Facebook Live using her Eddie. She pushes Eddie to his most extent. She did these tiny, she had a teddy bear little baby set that she needed to do, and she wanted her baby onesie to have a little logo bear on the corner.
That's so crazy.
So she printed this tiny little bear face on this tiny little transfer and was able to put it on. It was so stinking cute.
It's amazing. Genius. Okay, so that takes us through our amazing sponsors. Thanks to the sponsors. They keep this podcast going.
Keep us going.
Keep us going. So I wanted to talk about this fun little idea I came up with. So in the month of April, I said, wouldn't it be cool if we just give away a transfer sheet? I already make them for the memberships that we offer. Thought it'd be a nice way to kind of promote the memberships, but also giving people value. Yeah. But I didn't realize how many people like transfer sheets.
We love our transfer.
So every day, and the thing is I couldn't schedule out these posts because I had to enable and disable share settings in Google Drive. Every day I had to post up a new transfer sheet. And then it became like the hunt and peck of people trying to find these transfer sheets.
When is she posting? Because Heather never posted at the same time.
No, I got to say, I did y'all entirety.
She forgot.
Literally, quite. Once I posted a whole new set, but the old URL, and they were all like, this flip-flop football, it looks good. So anyways, people were like, hey, I kind of like the vibe. Can we sign up for these? Which we didn't have a transfer membership, but I thought, Corey, let's do a loss leader of a transfer, the $2 transfers club. So you can sign up for $2 a month.
Toyota Corolla.
I know. Because I've already made these. Again, the average transfer sheet on Etsy is around $2.50 to $4.50.
Yeah.
$4.50. But I thought, get every transfer we ever made. I think there's 40 in there right now for $2. And every month you'll get 2 or 3 more. Just to kind of whatever. And
so
by the end of
was happy that you guys love transfer so much because it actually pushed her to learn something new. And Heather, unlike me, likes learning new things.
But I can only learn new things if there's a goal. I can't just go learn something and there'd be nothing at the end.
No.
So
I have bought Heather guitar lessons 2 years ago.
I got you a tattoo and wear those.
2 years ago. Yeah, I had to go through my husband and ask permission.
And I have to go through me and ask permission to fail. I'm going to do it. I'm going to learn guitar. But in the meantime, I really want to learn Illustrator. I use Adobe's Photoshop. Everyone uses Lightroom. And then the Premiere Pro. But Illustrator is how you make, I mean, obviously these people are so talented, but you can make icons and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So shape building is what it is.
I know.
So I thought it would be fun. And now that everyone sees transfers, it perfectly correlates.
So like where you could use a transfer. Some people are like, I don't even know what to do transfers for.
Someone's like, I don't need these, but I have them all.
I know. But like, so if you bought the Hobby Lobby gems, they no longer make those gems. Sad face. But you can make a transfer of a diamond, put it in the same place, and you'd still get that same effect. So transfers are fun. Heather did footballs. Those are great for, doing like an I in someone's name. If it's a kid's birthday set, like if it's Billy, you put the I and the I dot is a football. I thought that was
that'd be
cute.
And I tried to give people various sizing, ranging between a half inch and an inch. Yeah. Otherwise, I think it'd be too big and too small.
I think so.
But a quarter
0.75
inch?
is sometimes.
0.75.
But you said half an inch, isn't that 0.5?
Yeah. So a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
That'd be the in-between.
they can range like that, 0.5, 0.75.
Did you have anything at 0.25? A half inch?
It would have to be something
So little.
tiny.
Yeah. At that point, I think you
Yeah.
lose the details.
Just get a sprinkle.
Anyways, if you wanted to sign up for that's $2 recurring because every month you get something else, or you can just sign up for $2 right now and get everything that's in there, which is about 40 transfer sheets. It's cookietransfers.com.
Yeah, and then you can cancel. So you get 40 for $2.
Yeah, I had a couple people, they signed up and then download everything and canceled.
Yeah.
I'm like, great.
So there's diamonds, diamond rings, footballs. I'm just giving you stamps, which are great for Valentine's Day.
Letter.
Did you do hearts?
Yep.
Hearts, letters, like, sending in the mail letters. Lips is one she did.
I have
Ghosts.
peep butts in various sizes, funky flowers, diamonds, diamond rings, diamond in small sizes because people want them smaller, balloons, eggs, latte, carrots, bows, big bows, small bows, cookies. We have Easter, Valentine's Day, Turkey Day. But here's the thing. I keep having to make these because everyone in the college wants them. And I figure, let that be transfers. Christmas trees,
Yes.
Santa hats, snowmen. It's a lot of fun. Really great challenge for me because we have to make them from scratch if we're going to sell them. So been a nice little fun thing.
I know. So if you want to sign up for that, sign up for it.
Yeah, cookietransfers.com. And we have the Cookie Class Kits dropped its latest class.
It did, and I
We
just
had to get this all done
got
before
the one in the
CookieCon.
mail.
Really?
Yeah, but
she's
she never
getting
sent me
ahead
the
of time.
graphic. But when I came home, there was the box of the next set.
That's so funny.
So I have to text her to give me the graphic. But yeah, when I came home for CookieCon, I said, look at this box.
So, okay, the one that we just dropped, which you can sign up today and snag, just so you know, the Cookie Class Kits is such a deal. I can't believe nobody signs
you
up
know
for
what?
it.
The amount of work that goes into that makes me cry.
Yeah. So the Cookie Class Kits membership, every month you get an entire set and everything you need to do to sell it. Plus, here's a catch. You get everything that's already been posted. So we have a December set, January set, February set, March set, April set, May set. It's what just
Not
got
a December
loaded.
set yet.
No, there is a December set.
That I hate. I don't want to talk about that one.
No, yeah. So remember, everything drops a month ahead of time.
Except for we didn't drop that one early. I get what you're saying, but it
Right.
came like
You're
the second one.
confusing them. Only you and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but all these cookies have never been made before. These are brand new designs. So you'd be one of the first people teaching it. And I mean, out of the bazillion of cookiers out there, not a ton are teaching it. So you could have a really exclusive, fun class.
Just describe to me this last class we dropped.
The one that's already dropped.
Yeah, I just posted
themed.
right before we left.
Beachy theme.
Yeah, so it's at the beach, and then the next one's under the sea, right?
Under the sea. And those are very cute looking. from
Right.
the
So
size.
to walk me through the at the beach cookies.
At the
six.
beach cookies, it's always 4 colors. And so far, we've made sure that white was one of the colors. I think in this next set, though, I said just do 4 random
No
colors.
white?
How could white really be in an under the sea
Bubbles.
themes? Yeah, but we only have these like little a crab. It's not white.
I would know.
I know. So we'll see what she sends me because she didn't send me the graphic yet.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So we try to make white one of the colors. So in this, we have an umbrella, super cute beach umbrella.
Very.
Yellow polka dot bikini, but it's a one piece.
Yeah. Because we didn't want an extra step.
Yeah. Which I think is absolutely adorable. What's the other? Oh, a seashell with a little pearl.
That one
there,
was
which
super
is fun.
cute.
A wave, which actually turned out way cuter.
I thought
than
that was going to be
thought.
crazy, but it actually turned out
It
cute.
really did. these little heart sunglasses.
Those
and
are super cute.
the technique with that is the scraping technique and then flooding over top.
And then
which I thought was
flip-flops.
cute. And then
With wet on wet
flip
flop.
flop with a
yeah.
Hawaiian flower on
If you wanted to add a second flip flop, you could easily do it because you just cut it
You
and
could.
flip it.
Yeah. Someone's like, I think you put two right flip flops with each other. Yeah, I'm not doing extra steps.
Yeah. So that's the promise of the Cookie Class Kids. Again, like we said, the mid-range workhorse, people who just want to get into cookies on a Saturday. You get 6 cookies, 4 icing colors, and then everything you need to promote it. But I will say, I think it's slept on. I think you guys are slipping on this because it is so cute and it's such a cash cow.
And we'll be we teach them ourselves, so we'll be teaching this flippy flop one.
Oh, we are doing that one?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is what we said to people, and I can see people in the college are talking about. They're like, it's harder to sell seats in the summer. Yes, it is hard. All the marketing, know-how, and nuggets. You got to do it in our slow season. Like I tell you guys every time we talk about this, the slow cookie season is the summer. If you don't notice that, it's often because you're taking vacation or you've got your funnel dialed in and people are converting anyways. But
so we've had our summer class open for a while. It just now sold out.
This morning.
Yeah.
Right. That summer class will be in June, which makes sense, about a month out. Someone said, what did you do this year that helps you in your marketing? And I think posting the calendar up front was a solid bet.
Yeah, for sure.
So I added that comment. But go check that out. You can go to thecookiecollege.com/cookie class and you can see all the ones included in the membership
Or
right
you
now.
can go to cookieclasskids.com.
Oh, sorry, cookieclasskids.com.
Yeah.
Go to the same place because you can use a redirect.
What's your Twinterest?
Okay, I got the printer. He's right there. He's huge.
He's still in the box, I see.
He's still 15-minute setup is what the ad said.
15 minutes?
Setup, turning them on. So here's what I got, the AMS add-on. So Bamboo is the company.
Uh-huh.
Bamboo also produces its own filament.
Uh-huh.
But if you buy Bamboo filament, the printer knows that it's the filament from Bamboo and it's color.
Colorful?
You can buy any color, but it will know what color it is.
It has all the colors? Like, do they have a ton of colors?
They have a ton of colors. They have a ton of different types of filament too. So I got 4 of the basic guys, the PLA, right?
What color?
Tan, red, black. I don't know.
What a weird color combo.
I'm just trying. We just got to learn on something. And then it comes in, it's very heavy. To watch me waddle that thing in here.
I'm sure.
That was pretty crazy. But I'm excited to get it set up. We had to go to CookieCon right when it came in, so I didn't get a chance to open it. But I told Corey I will make it a part of my personality. I got
I can't wait.
Caliper, the thing that measures, and you have the teeth. Then I got a angle measurer. Okay. I got a bunch of tools
like geometry
to
class,
measure
which
things.
I really truly slept through.
We didn't go to geometry, but paying that price now. So that is my Twinterest. But here's the AMS thing. I think I'm saying that right. It allows you to, instead of just putting one filament into the printer and he prints, you can have them all ready to go.
Weird.
And he'll pull in what he wants.
Different colors. So you could have a red, tan, black, white.
You can also do different filament types in the same print.
Oh, why would you ever want that?
I don't know. People who are a bit smarter than me are doing cooler stuff than I know how to do. So they're doing it.
My Twinterest is anytime me and Heather go on a trip together, we can use each other's stuff. So it's almost like you can shop.
What are you shopping? What did you shop to Mexico?
Heather has this amazing hair straightener.
Yeah, you know where I found it? I subreddit. So there's a subreddit for everything. Found the subreddit for hair care. And I searched within that subreddit straighteners, and they all recommended this specific straightener.
And you said it's a professional one, like
it's
salon
a baby Bliss Pro. That's what they said. That's why the cord is so long.
The cord is ridiculously long, which I kind of liked. I've had a Chi, and if you have a Chi, it just had good marketing.
Yeah.
They're just good at marketing.
I don't know if hair straightening came out when Britney Spears was dancing, but Chi absolutely dominated.
But I will say the Chi pulls my hair out. It pulls it every time I do a slide. I lose one.
It
hurts. Hair. But Heather's straightener is it's a 2-inch wide one. So it's got a lot of hair in that. And it's so, I don't know, why is it so smooth? It does not pull on anything.
Whatever they wanted to sell to salons. But you can get it at Ulta now. I could only get it at a salon.
Ordered it on Amazon on our way home. It's tight cheap. But I thought, you know what? As many hairs as the Chi is pulling out.
It's still cheaper than a Dyson.
Oh, for
straightener.
Sure. Yeah.
The Dyson straightener doesn't even have a cord.
Dyson straightener has it? He has a straightener?
He's had it for a while. I don't see enough people talk about it to think it's worth it, but there is a straightener.
That straightener I used this weekend, now that I have used it, that cut the straightening time in half.
High heat, but low damage. That was another sales point. I don't know how. It doesn't look anything different, but I gotta say, I'll never go back.
The G has it's 410 degrees. Heather's just had the number 45 and 50 on it, so I don't know what it means.
Man, just bust that boy all the way to the top.
But it made it so much faster to straighten my hair. So I would be less likely to be like, oh, I don't really want to straighten my hair right now.
Don't fight your gear, man.
Don't fight your gear. So that was my Twinterest.
That was a Baby Bliss Pro. Get an Ulta. Get it on Amazon.
Pro. And hers has the word nano on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know.
That's the one that Reddit had recommended about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. So I thought that was just a treat. And I have used it on many a vacation we've done together.
What else did you try of mine?
That highlighter stick.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That was from, what's Rihanna's makeup line?
Fenty.
Fenty Beauty. I got it from Some.
It was a stick, and I thought it was going to take my makeup off because it seems liquidy.
It almost is like a powdery.
It's a powdery stick.
Yeah, I'll say it's not as it blends out quite nicely.
Yeah, but I will say that there's so many highlighters out there that look very similar that you could save.
The stick is easy to package because you don't have to worry about it breaking.
Heather tried my makeup by Mario.
I did. I thought it was good. I think I prepped my skin incorrectly.
How would you prep it? I think that matte moisturizer you use is so textured.
That's what I did the first night. The second night I switched it.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I
think
think
that
was
more of a creamy moisturizer. It would have been better.
That's what I did the second night.
When I tried your matte moisturizer, I was like, wow, I am pulling my skin to get this.
The matte moisturizer?
Yeah, from Innisfree.
You got me that. That was a gift from you.
Well, I tried
you don't think to use that?
No, I don't use that. But I get the matte version, but I think you need that kind of moisturizer.
Yeah, I think I had the wrong base for that makeup by Mario. But it was a Sephora sale, and our sisters are Rogue members.
I'm a Rogue. Rouge.
Rogue. Gone Rogue.
No, I think it was. Is it Rogue?
I thought it was Rouge.
Rouge.
Placement of the
I'm
U.
a Rogue Rouge.
But do you get 20% off?
Uh-huh.
Sephora has an interesting marketing tactic. Every year, 2 times a year, they do a 20% off for their Rogue or Rouge members. We don't know. And then 30% off to the same members for Sephora line.
Yeah.
But you can only get it if you've spent X amount of money at Sephora in a certain amount of time. But here's the interesting marketing tactic is that Rogue or Rouge member can gift it to one person.
They can gift one
to us
one
poor
person.
people who don't spend a lot at Sephora. No. So my sisters will literally say, okay, guys, we're going to go meet at Sephora. You guys can use our 20% off. But and then I PayPal them back.
I should not be a Rogue or Rouge. It's
because you like the Olaplex.
And I did buy that hair stuff. But I got a new hair one that's for hair thickening.
K18?
No, it's not. It's actually very expensive, and it was on a website by itself.
Really?
Resurgence, Regenerance.
What is your goal with your hair?
Just to have thick hair.
Were you worried about it?
Yeah. Whoever sent that picture in Snapchat today, if you zoom in on my hairline, it looks pretty bad.
What, caused by stress?
Yes.
Watch the Andrew Huberman one on hair growth. He says stress is the antithesis of hair growth.
I've been really working on it. So I really had to give it a little jumpy jump.
Crazy.
No phone calls. Why do we even have an extra line now?
No text.
No text or phone.
There's a package at the mailbox. Can we get it? Sure. Also, someone's sending us a chocolate of ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it at CookieCon and we missed it?
Yeah, I know. Because unfortunately, Corey and I came the day before CookieCon started, and I think it technically would be 2 days before CookieCon started.
It was
the first day's
orientation.
Folks. Yeah. We'll reassess. And figure it out. But all in all, if you guys are still at CookieCon, have a blast. I don't think you're going to be listening to us. But if you're on the drive back
and bored,
hello.
I'm looking to buy a car. I got to use one.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see you next week on Tuesday.
Next week on Tuesday.